Next, again, just a different way of kind of wording how you're going to solve these. So I have two angles, E and F. They are complementary. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little 90 next to that. E is going to be 54 more than the measure of F. So I'm going to actually call E X, and I'm going to call F Y, just to make it easier. So it says the measure of angle E, which I called X, is 54 more means add, than the measure of F. So I need 54 more than F. Okay, notice it didn't give me any information about angle F, so I'm just going to keep that as Y. So these two together are going to equal 90 degrees. So I have 54 plus Y, because I don't know any information about it, and those together are going to equal 90. Make sure you have both of your angles accounted for. A lot of people will just set up this first little equation and forget about the second Y. So now here I can combine like terms. I'm going to subtract the 54 over. That gets me 36. So Y is going to be 18. Okay, notice that's angle F. So angle F is going to be 18 degrees. Okay, if my two angles together have to be 90, okay, I can take 90 minus the 18, and that's going to get me my other angle. I would get the same answer if I plugged the 18 in here and did 54 plus 18. So angle E is going to be 72. So one other thing you want to check is make sure that these equal the 90 degrees that we said in the directions. So again, just pausing. Okay, so just another one, kind of similar. So number 8 says the measure of an angle supplement. So that's going to be 180 degrees. Is 76 less than the measure of the angle? Find the measure of each angle and its supplement. So I'm going to call my angles X and Y. So one of them is 76 less than the measure of the other angle. So I'm going to say Y minus 76. And then again, my second angle I don't know anything about. These together have to be 180 because they are supplements. They are supplementary angles. So I'm going to take my Y minus 76. That's my first angle plus second one I don't know anything about, and set equal to 180. So you're going to go ahead and solve. 180 minus 7, I'm going to actually add 76 over, so 180 plus 76 is 256. And then I would divide by 2 to go ahead and get Y by itself. That's going to be 128. And then again, those two angles have to be 180 together. So if I do 180 minus 128, that's going to get me 52. I could also plug 128 here and do minus 76. That will get me the same 52. So these two again together should equal 180 degrees. Okay, I'm going to have you guys pause. I want you to do numbers 9 and 10. Okay, so these two again are very similar. So you have two angles. I called them X and Y. One angle is 40 more than 3 times the other angle. So 40 more means add. 3 times means multiply. And then my second angle I don't know anything about, so I just called it Y. And then those two together, again, my keyword here is supplement. They are supplementary. They should be 180 degrees. So I'm going to add them together, set equal to 180 and solve. So once I get my first angle, which is 35, I can take 180 minus that 35, and that's going to get me the 145. And then for number 10, same idea. A linear pair is going to be 180 degrees. So 4 more than 3 times my angle. I called my angles X and Y. So again, 3 times means multiply, and 4 more means add. So once I get my angle of 44, I can subtract that from 180. I'm just pausing for a second if you need to check anything. Okay, and then for 11, again, just different ways that you could see these type of problems. With problems like number 11, it's very important to label your diagram. So it says KNL, which would be KNL. This angle here is 6x minus 4. And LMN is 4x plus 24. I want to find the angle of x that makes KNM, which would be this whole angle, 90 degrees. So I want these two angles together to make that 90 degrees. So if I add them up and then set equal to 90, because I want it to be a right angle, I would combine like terms. So my x's and then my constant. And then I'm going to subtract 20. So x should be 7. So it says find the value of x. So that is a right angle. So again, I want these two together because they make up this whole big angle to equal 90 degrees. So again, labeling on these type of problems is going to be very helpful. Okay, and then if we go to the last page, again, these are going to be similar problems, just different things that you will be given each time. So here it says JNP. So JNP, remember the middle letter is the angle that you're referring to. So this is 3x minus 15. And JNL, so JNL is going to cover this whole angle, is 5x plus 59. You want to find the value of x so that J and P and this whole angle are supplements. Supplement means 180. So if you look at my diagram, they form a straight line, so they are 180 degrees. So I'm going to add up my two little equations and set equal to 180, and then I would go ahead and solve. So I would have 59 minus 15. And then I'm going to subtract 44. And then divide by 8. Again, I want to find the value of x, so there I would stop. So again, I want those two angles that I labeled to be supplements, so they are 180 degrees. Okay, LNM is going to be 8x plus 12 for the next one. And then JNL is going to be this whole angle. That's 12x minus 32. I want to find angle JNP, so I want to find this angle here. So first, if I look, I want to find the relationship between the two angles that I marked. If I look, they form a straight line. and straight lines are 180. So those two angles together are going to be 180 degrees. I'm going to have you pause and go ahead and solve for x. Okay, so taking a look, if I combine like terms and solve for x, I should be getting 10. So a couple different ways to get this angle. So one relationship is that the two angles I labeled here are vertical angles, so they will be the same measure. So if I plug x in here for this angle, it's going to be the same. I also can see that my top angles, those three are going to form a straight line. So if I plug x in here, I can do 180 minus this angle, and that's going to leave this top one. I'm going to do the vertical angles. So if I plug in 10 here, I would have 80 plus 12, which gets me 92. Okay, so again, angle JNP is going to be 92 degrees. Sometimes these are not drawn to scale. So again, vertical angles, if I plug in x here, it's going to be the same on the other side. Okay, I'm going to have you go ahead and label 14 and set up, and then check. So go ahead and pause, set up 14, and then come back. Okay, so if I'm going ahead and labeling, again, labeling these are going to be important for you to solve. So I labeled the three angles that it gave me. That's going to form a straight line. So straight lines are 180. So all three of those angles together are going to be 180. So I went ahead and combined like terms and got x as 20. And then it asked to find the measure of each angle. So I plugged 20 back into each of these three. And I found my degree measures for each of those angles. So just pausing for a second. If you need to pause the video to check, we're going to do one more, and then there is going to be a practice that you will need to do after. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to 15 again. If you need to pause the video for number 14, that's fine. So NL is going to bisect KNM. So bisect means cut in half. So those two little angles are going to be congruent to each other. KNL, so KNL is going to be 5x minus 15. MNL is going to be 3x plus 17. Find each angle. So again, if we bisect, we're going to cut that angle in half. So that means each of those angles are going to be congruent to each other. So I'm going to set each of those angles equal, and then I can go ahead and solve. So I would subtract 3x, and I would add 15 over. So 17 and 15 would get you 32. So x is going to equal 16. And again, I wanted to find the measure of each angle. So KNL, if I plug in 16, so I have 5 times 16 minus 15, that's 65. And then MNL should be the same since I bisected, but it's always nice to check, because if you plug in and you got something other than 65, you would know that you made a mistake somewhere. So again, I know that NL bisects, so that means each of these angles are congruent. So it's very important to read carefully your directions and make sure you label your picture for these type of problems.